What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two Game Podcast, where we are back to break down episode 5, season 2, The Rings of Power. I'm here with Preston Johnson.
What's up, guys?
Nick Ziegler.
Howdy, howdy.
And we are continuing our review series for Lord of the Rings and the Rings of Power specifically. And so far, really enjoying the season. But it's time to review episode 5. We're a little bit behind, but it's all right. We're gonna catch up. So episode 5, there, Nick, how do you feel about it?
Well, let's start this one off with a bang. There were no hobbits.
Yes, 10 out of 10 episode.
Yep, no hobbits. There were no Harfoot, whatever.
I fell asleep twice instead of 10 times.
Yes, it wasn't a bad episode. It was definitely a slow episode. There wasn't like any action or high suspense scenes. It was all a lot of drama.
Very drama-y.
Yes, lots of interpersonal dramas.
Now, before we go to Creston, I want to ask one thing, because it's kind of been bothering me, and I know Nick is going to fucking bitch about this, so I'm going to bring it up. Does it feel like they are just speeding through the storyline? Like this feels like I think we mentioned it like either like last episode or the episode before, I can't remember. But it feels like Game of Thrones season 7 and 8.
Yeah,
where it's like they're just tired of doing this story already, and they're just fucking speeding it along.
Well, I mean, they are taking content from a book that spanned over 3,000 years and condensing it into a couple days.
Yeah, but I think there would be a better way to do it than the way they've done it.
You want to know what a better way is, and you're going to hate this idea because you love.
Here we go.
You love short seasons. Let's not do 8 episodes or 10 episodes. Let's spread this shit out. Let's make it, and we don't have to do a full 24, but let's bring back like big seasons. There's so much material. Like when you're covering 5-6 different storylines, and you only have 10 episodes to do it, and you're trying to get from point A to B, that's not enough time. So that's why it feels rushed. Now, they've done a better job because they're not doing all 6 storylines in one episode. You get 2 or 3 and 2 or 3. But it's because there's so much material going on all at once.
I think 10 is the best. It is like the even ground. 10 episodes.
That's what this is.
This is 8 episodes, sir.
Is it 8? I don't think 10's enough. I still think they need to do 12, 14, 16, something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's 8. I guess, I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's the pacing, maybe it's the editing, something about it. I'm just like, this could be done just a little bit better. Like, I don't feel like when they're dividing it, it's definitely better than what it was in season 1, where it just seemed like we didn't get enough shit going on. It just felt like we were always just stagnant. And this one feels more along the lines of, we're trying to hit so many things at once, we're just going to breeze by a lot of it. Like whether it's like character development or like last episode when we were talking about the Barrow Wights, and we were like, yeah, it lasts like 10 seconds. Like, I think if the season was like 10 episodes, they could have devoted a little bit more time to that and kind of flesh those scenes out a little bit better.
I think a big issue with it also is they introduce conflict at the beginning of the episode, and it's resolved at the end. There's no like high suspense. You have to wait to watch the next episode to get your resolution. It's here's the problem, we fixed it, or we've ended it in the episode, instead of that problem or that conflict carrying over to the next episode. It's here it is, and at the end of the episode, it's done with.
I don't know. It's just something to keep an eye on. I've been trying to think of, okay, they've been improving here and here throughout season 2 in comparison to season 1. But like, because I would say that I really like this season a lot more than season 1, but there's something preventing me from like truly falling in love with this series. I don't mean that. It's not really a negative, but it's like what am I looking for here that they're not giving me?
It's one of those, like, you can watch it once and then you're okay with it. Like, that's, you don't need to go. You're not going to go back and rewatch the whole series.
Well, I don't know about that. Like when season 3 comes out in like 10 years, because they don't do yearly shit anymore.
Second point.
I'm gonna forget it, so I'm gonna end up going back.
But I'm talking
but out of necessity.
I'm talking about out of necessity, just to catch up, or maybe they have that 3-minute recap, because I didn't go back and watch season 1. They have that 3-minute recap at the beginning of season 3 to catch you up on what happened in season 2. But I'm talking about when all 5 seasons are done with, because they've already greenlit 3 and 4, and they've said they're doing 5. All 5 are done with. You finished it. It's entertaining enough to keep you watching it now, but I don't think it's entertaining or compelling enough to do a rewatch down the line after the series is over. Like how we watch Lord of the Rings 2 or 3 times a year, it's not good enough to go, well, I don't have anything else new to watch. Let me go back and watch Rings of Power, because that was always a good show. You're not going to do that.
I don't want to hate on the show that much. Like I don't think it's to the point where I'm like one time I'm done and I'll never watch it again kind of thing. But it's like in the middle, a little bit higher on it than you. Okay, let's just put it that way. But Crescent, what do you think about this episode?
I enjoyed it. I like the Anatar character, and I fucking love the dwarf. So I enjoyed it for sure. Definitely dramatic. But yeah, I like the struggle between Anatar and Celebrimbor's conscious. And then the struggle between Disa and Lil Durin and Big Dog Durin. Now he's got that ring, man. He's all business.
Yeah,
he's not listening to nobody.
I was watching this episode, and I just kept on hearing Disa going, "They took our jobs," because that's straight up what Durin did. He's like, he put that ring on. And he's like, now I'm the mountain singer.
Right. I like how he's like, dig right here, and they're like, hold on. He's like, pass me that fucking axe, bud. Just started fucking smashing.
I'm sorry. Anytime I hear a character mention Disa, I think about Jar Jar Binks.
Disa's feeling very nervous.
like I can't stand her name for that reason. I'm like, Jar Jar Binks? Where's he at? No, I agree. I think this is a good episode. Definitely not one of the best episodes out of the season for sure, but it's definitely not a bad episode. Like y'all said, very dramatic. A lot of stuff with Celebrimbor and Anatar. A lot of stuff with the dwarves and Prince Durin, King Durin. And then we get some movement with the whole Numenor aspect of it, where it seems like there's an uprising, but then it kind of gets squashed.
Very quickly.
Right. That's definitely something that they rushed right the fuck along. Was the faithful, and then Al-Farazan's followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like instant division. Instant.
So let me pose a question to you about this. And I know this is going to sound a little, not necessarily hypocritical, but along those lines. I know I just complained about the season kind of speeding along. But would we have been okay with them taking their time with Numenor? Because it's been slow as shit in season 2 so far. So would we have been okay with it being fucking slow. I mean,
Bruh.
it seems like they're kind of speeding that shit along.
Yeah, if they were taking their time, we need more than 17, 18 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think like this whole Numenor storyline could have been sped up and shit cut out. Like we have too much of Numenor at this point that's slow and boring. And now they're trying to amp it up, but like we could have just cut some shit out and then just sped this along and got Elendil out of here.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of excited to see where they go with the Numenor storyline. You know, because there's a lot like when Halbrand was on Numenor and technically in prison. Like, are they going to consider that when Sauron was in prison on Numenor?
Yeah.
Or is he actually going to be imprisoned there and then corrupt him?
Yeah.
And are they going to try to sail west? Like, how is Numenor going to get destroyed? So I'm definitely intrigued to see where they go with it.
I'd already say Numenor has been corrupted at this point. So I honestly, I think the time that Halbrand spent in Numenor with Galadriel is his imprisoned time there.
Right, but I mean, it wasn't even necessarily him that's corrupting it, though. Like he was there, but he wasn't in Pharazôn's ear, as far as I can remember. You know,
creative liberty,
right? See, and stuff like that kind of makes me curious and intrigued as to how the whole Numenor downfall is going to play out. Like, how are they going to play it out in this series? So, I've definitely enjoyed the Numenor stuff, but yeah, this episode it was a little slow over there. Even though what's that dude's name? Valendil?
Yeah.
He got murked, which was sad. I fucking hate that other guy. He's the new Theo now. Fuck that guy.
He has that face. I'm just like, I just really don't fucking like your character.
Yeah.
Well, and Elendil's daughter, I fucking hate her too. Like,
yeah. Fuck that bitch.
Right.
Fuck that bitch.
Let's just say though, oh boy, he's got that dog in him, man. He bounced back from getting his arm snapped pretty quick.
Dude, when he got his arm snapped, I was like, yes.
Right, I thought he deserves it. For. And then they showed Valendil like looking at the camera, and it was a little too long, and I was like, damn, this dude's about to fucking die.
Oh, I knew it. I knew he'd get a dagger in the back immediately.
Yeah, they had it just a little off center where you could kind of see in the background.
Right.
And I was like, no, turn around, quick.
But speaking of Galadriel, how about in episode 4, we get that cliffhanger at the very end where Adar captures her, and we don't see that motherfucker until the last 2 minutes of this episode. Bro.
Oh yeah, wait. Didn't they just throw her at his feet?
Yeah,
she pulled the blade
legitimately
out and put it to his neck, right?
I don't understand because at the end of episode 4, Adar was in front of her, and then at the end of episode 5, she gets presented to Adar, and I'm like, but you already did that last episode.
Look, dude, they heard your complaints. You're moving along too fast. They're taking it nice and slow. I do like how they're separating the storylines a little bit more to where you're getting big chunks out of certain ones and then kind of little crumbs of the other ones. And I'm assuming next episode or this episode that just came out that I haven't watched is going to involve Adar and Galadriel.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I expect Nori's going to be in it too.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, Stranger's going to be back.
It's going to be one of those episodes.
Tommy B's going to be doing his thing.
No, this next episode is going to be like fucking... I feel like it's going to be amazing, but then it's going to have like just those 5-minute spurts of Nori that just fucking ruins it. I'm kind of in the same boat where I like the little snippets. I don't know. I really liked that cliffhanger, and I wanted more of that like immediately, and they just didn't give it to me.
That's the issue, though.
But
This show doesn't have many cliffhangers. Like, that's the only one that was like a true cliffhanger-ish kind of scenario, because everything else, the story typically, the conflict resolves by the end of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's probably 50-50. I mean, there's been some, I guess, you could call it conflict that hasn't necessarily been resolved in one episode. Like the shit that was going on at Khazad Dûm, like with the light tunnels and all that. That was kind of drug out over a few episodes. But a lot of stuff, like you said, gets resolved immediately. Barrow Whites getting sucked down under the quicksand by some crazy worm monster. Yeah,
the fucking just get cuts. They get cut and they just disappear within like 10 seconds.
yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Queen Lady comes back to a dead dad, and immediately cousin, friend, boyfriend, whatever, becomes king because an eagle flew over and they said so. I mean, that was one episode.
Yeah.
One episode.
Yeah. And the fact that they were upset that she was using the Palantir, the Elvish stuff, like, I feel like that's also something they kind of just lumped together, because that shit didn't just like happen overnight where they just started like phasing out the elves. Although when Galadriel got there, I guess they were kind of separate from the elves.
They were definitely an elf-free zone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, free zone. But one thing that, okay, before we get, obviously the two big things for this episode, Celebrimbor and Anatar, which we haven't really discussed kind of that. But also on the flip side, the dwarves, another huge aspect to this episode. Disa, Jar Jar Binks, goes to the lake where the Balrog is. How do we feel about this? I was not expecting it to happen this soon. I'm just me, just based on the points that we have gotten so far of events. I don't know. I expected it to be dragged out a little bit more.
Yeah, but if it's 8 episodes and we're on episode 5, we're going to skip over to episode 7 before we see the dwarves again.
True. I thought it was a little weird how she found the lake. Like, they're like mining the deepest they've ever mined. It's all unstable. It's falling and stuff. And she's just like chasing something out of the market and like, oh shit, let me squeeze through this little crack. Oh my God, I'm under the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, that was the fact that rock orb thing that she bought just so happened to tumble in just the perfect way to find the deep dark cavern where she can hear a Balrog snoring.
Right, and the fact that it's just a little crack in the side of the walking path, like nobody's ever been through there.
Right. It's not like they blew a massive hole in the mountain and it's like, oh shit, we disturbed its slumber. It's like, no, that crack's been there. Whatever.
Yeah.
But where does the timeline meet up with the Balrog just destroying fucking everybody and the Fellowship and Gimli showing up and being like, where the fuck is everybody?
Okay, so the Khazad Dûm falls at the end of the Third Age. Is that right, Creston?
Into the second?
In the Second Age, I'm sorry, yeah, in the Second Age.
Yeah. And then after The Hobbit takes place, a couple people from Thorin's company go back and reclaim Moria, a.k.a. Khazad Dûm, and then it happens all over again. And that's what, what's his name?
That's what Gimli happens upon.
That's what Gimli stumbles upon. So that's actually the second.
Happens.
The second.
Balrog happens at the end of the Second Age, and then all the dwarves flee Khazad Dûm and they move to Eregion, into the kingdom under the mountain. And they're there living their second happiest life until the dragon comes and steals all their gold and kills everybody. So then the dwarves are kind of like nomads at that point. Or at least that kingdom of dwarves. There's 7 kingdoms of dwarves.
Yeah.
That kingdom of dwarves a lot of them go to the other kingdoms, and then other ones just kind of meander around forever until whatever his name is finds Gandalf, and they have the map and the key and everything, and then Bilbo and all that shit happens, and then so they retake Eregion, and then Balin, and I can't remember the other one. Balin goes to Khazak Dûm and reclaims it for maybe 40 years.
And it gets fucking wrecked.
And then the goblins wreck them.
Yes.
Not even the Balrog. The Balrog played no part in that. It was just the goblin or the orcs and goblins killing them.
So back to the point of she just kind of just all willy-nilly stumbles upon this shit, right? This goes back to I have a huge complaint, and it's really the series at large. It just feels small and like claustrophobic. Like I think it's the set designs that are just not up to par with like the OG trilogy, where we go outside and we see the scope of Middle Earth. I just don't think they're able to show us specifically with Khazad Dûm, but I mean it's the entire series. They're just not able to give us the scope that it needs.
Are they filming on location, or is it all green screen?
Some of it looks like it's on location.
They had one good shot of Eregion from the distance with the mountain behind it. That looked nice.
I think that's a big issue, and we see that in other. I mean, you see that kind of in the Hobbit series too, where a lot of things are very claustrophobic, and I think it's a green screen effect versus on site, like the OG trilogy was on site for pretty much everything. And I think green screen plays a big role in that.
Yeah, just like we never really go away from those sets and go outside to the world of Middle Earth. Like if you go to the OG trilogy, it was what? This isn't an exact number or anything like that. Like every 10 minutes, you're getting a shot of the fucking scenery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different shot every single time. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So it just, to me, that's one of the huge issues that I have with the show, in comparison to the OG trilogy. Now, granted, the OG trilogy is the GOAT, so it's a little unfair, but needless to say.
So, how did you feel about the conflict between Anatar and Celebrimbor? Because at this point the dwarves have their rings, and now Anatar is trying to convince him to make rings for men, and he is steadfast against it.
I love how Anatar pulls like the whole wife thing, you know, like, hey, why don't we do this? I'm not doing it anymore. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. We don't have to do it. I mean, I'm gonna go over here and do it myself. And then you're like, well, fuck, I gotta do it now, man. This is a fucking trap. No, seriously, you don't have to do it. I have to do it. Like, dude is fucking GOAT with the deception.
Yeah.
And he's pulling in all the other elf smiths and trying to swoon over the second fake Galadriel. And you look just like Galadriel, who also looks just like Galadriel.
Right. You know, in a certain light, you almost kind of reminded me of her. And the fact that she just took that as a compliment.
Right.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I liked all the stuff with Anatar and Celebrimbor. Like, dude tried to stand his ground a little bit and tried to fight it off, but in the end, he just crumbled.
He did, and it's funny, or it's interesting that Celebrimbor making the rings it's almost like the magic of the rings that he's not wearing is starting to affect him, like the One Ring affected anybody who wore it, where he's becoming suspicious and very greedy and power hungry, and just that obsessive driven state that he's in now.
With the close proximity to Sauron himself,
Right? Yeah, it's interesting to see that play out, though. That he has become a completely different person at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely got Celebrimbor locked down. Even when he brought up the fact that they were having issues with the dwarf rings, and he's like, "No, man, we made those under deception." He's like, "No, we did everything perfect." He's like, "Nah, you kind of fucking lied to the king, bro. This is on you."
Yeah, this is your fault that they didn't work out the way we wanted it to.
We can fix it, but this is on you, bro.
At no point has Celebrimbor been like, but you weren't involved in the elf rings, and those turned out fine. Maybe, just maybe, you're the problem.
It's the hair, man. He can't get past it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I do like the way the way he's portraying Antar now, because he does seem very suave.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
What a unique word.
Next episode, he's going to brush Celebrimbor's hair back. In this light, you almost reminded me of Gil-galad. Oh my God, really?
Like Antar trying to lay down some pipe. Look, I'm just saying, we created some rings, and
right.
I have an extra ring for a little extra something down there.
I was about to say, there's a ring that I can talk about right now.
Hey, I heard a little conspiracy theory. I don't believe it, but I just thought I'd bring it up. That Adar is going to become Celeborn.
Interesting.
Right? I was like,
I don't believe it either, because
I don't either. But I was just like, that's a out there.
Because she's already said that her husband did she name him in this series in the first season? I can't remember. Or did she just say her husband died? I can't.
I think he's presumed dead or something.
Yeah.
That's what she went with.
But did she actually say Celeborn or just my husband?
I don't remember, honestly. I just feel like it was left open ended from what I remember. But yeah, I saw that on the one of the Facebook groups, and I was like, "Damn, man, these guys are thinking outside the box."
That's how you make a really good conspiracy theory. Is it's so far outside the box that it makes you think, like, well, fuck.
Right.
I guess that can make sense.
It's got to be true. It's the one thing that doesn't make sense.
But yeah, man. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. I think some of the Numenor stuff was a little slow until the very end, and it kind of picked up a little bit. I'm excited for episode 6. Ended very quickly. Yes, very quickly. But the dwarf stuff, I'm down with it, man. I'm fucking with it, vibing with it, and I'm ready to see how it shakes out. I'm down for the dwarf stuff.
Now that Elendil is captured and a traitor to Numenor, I'm curious to see what happens next episode that they're involved in, where this goes, if this is the driving force to get them off the island or not.
Right, because the Isildur is still in Middle Earth.
He still thinks Isildur is dead.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see this happen out. I want to see the Stranger, and I want to see the Dark Wizard. Like I'm curious about that storyline. I missed it. I missed it this episode. I did not miss Nori. I was happy Nori was not in this episode. I forgot Theo was the person because he's been gone for 2 episodes. It was a good day.
Right. You remember how?
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot who Theo was.
Right. Remember how big of a character and like center point that what's the new guy's name? Arondir?
Mm-hmm.
In season 1, I feel like he's kind of a background guy now.
Well, I think
we're not getting a lot of playtime with him.
I think that's because his girlfriend died randomly. Bronwyn died of infection 2 weeks after he got stabbed or whatever.
Alexa, stop. We'll cut that out, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's missing because Bronwyn's character's gone now, and that was the dynamic for him.
I'm curious when they wrote the season in comparison to when she quit, because I think you're right, where they just didn't know where to take his character for the season at large.
Yeah,
and they said, I mean, instead of just giving him a shitty storyline, let's just make him not have a storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, every scene that he's been in, I've enjoyed.
Yes.
Well, that's what they did with Theo. They're like, "Oh, your mom's dead. We really don't give a shit about you, so go away."
Look, if we got to sacrifice a Rondir to get rid of Theo, later, bro. Sorry.
Every scene that he's in, I like him. But if it's to get rid of Theo, fuck him.
Hey, you know,
I don't like him that much.
I got other stuff I like.
No, I do wish he was in the season more. You know, I do miss his unique action sequences that he's always a part of.
Here's a question,
and that's not a slight. That is a slight positive comment.
I mean, that's classic fucking elven combat moves.
Well, and I hope when we start approaching this inevitable war in Eregion, I hope he plays a part. I hope that's when they like bring him back to do a storyline with him, is the war outside of Eregion, because that's what he is. He's the battle elf. He's waiting for a battle. He has nothing to do right now. We need a battle scene.
Yeah, and I mean, he is with Isildur, who is a pivotal character. So
he is.
I've got to. But here's a question. So we know that there's going to be eventually. I'm assuming they're going to end up making these 9 rings. Do we have any main human characters that we think are going to be the human ring bearers?
We don't have any humans.
Right.
I mean, we have the Numenorians, but that's it.
Right. Maybe one ring to them, but
yeah, we have no lords of man, and there should be 9 of them. One of them is a Witch King.
Maybe they're going to do kind of like they did the dwarves, where they just brought in some randos to a little fucking meeting.
They had.
Durin's like, you see these? Let me close that box real quick. I'm gonna need some gold first.
Right, and also they wasn't even the people that were getting the rings. He was like, I know you're all messengers. These don't belong to you. They belong to your kings. Don't touch them. Give them to them. So you don't even get to see the dwarves that actually get the rings.
Yeah. Maybe that's going to be a fast forward thing where like, oh, we gave them out, and now they're ring wraiths.
I think they need to be rushing the plot line.
I mean, has it stopped them before? Like,
this is true.
I mean, it's plausible.
Like, you're talking about strengthening the show, though.
I'm just spitballing because I'm honestly curious who the 9 rings are going to go to. Surely it's going to be at least one main character. And what made me think of it was us talking about Theo. Like, he's like the Lord of Pelargir now or whatever, according to Arondir from last episode, remember?
You think Theo's the Witch King?
Could be. I mean, he's already stabbed himself with that fucking little blade thing. There's a darkness in that boy.
God damn it, we're going to bring Theo back just to put on a fucking ring of 9.
It could be a saving grace. I don't know.
They need to bring in a human character for the Witch King, set him up, give him the ring, and then go from there. Not just, give it to some rando, and then, hey, he's a ring wraith now.
We're too far into it. They're trying to make the rings now. you need to set up the characters to give them to. At least they set up Durin
Yeah.
to get the ring for the dwarves. They need to
Yeah.
set up the men, and we're halfway through the season.
I think it's safe to say we're not going to get to see them become corrupted by the rings.
No, we're not
It's
going
just
to. We're
going
not
to be
going to.
assumed.
Yeah, it's going to be like, here's 9 guys, here's the rings, and now they're bad.
Yeah.
Well,
instantly.
that would defeat the whole purpose of the series, I believe, because it's called the Rings of Power. So I don't know. Maybe you need to show the power of the rings on the ring bearers.
I
agree.
It took the first season for them to even make the first 3 rings.
I'm not upset by that.
And then that was fine. But then it took 1 episode to make 7 dwarven rings. And then the second episode to distribute them.
I mean, in their defense, we are getting to see a little bit of the ring's power just with Durin having it on. You know?
Yes. And that's the other thing is like
when he couldn't find it and it was on the desk and he's like, "Where the fuck's my ring, buddy?" He's like, "It's right there. You took it off." He's like, "Oh shit! Oh, let me brush you off."
And this is all going down before Sauron has even made his 1 ring to actually start doing shit. That's the other thing is like these rings are already working without the 1 ring to tell them to work.
Yes, but also he was directly involved in making those rings. And I think that they're trying to emphasize him taking the ore from Celebrimbor and him being the one who physically mixed it as him inserting himself into the ring like he did the 1 ring.
And see, even that scene, though, lost it for me because he just holds the mithril and he looks at it and then he just drops it.
He said a quick little silent prayer. You saw his lips moving?
No, it lost it. That was a 2-3 second clip. And I'm like, so that's all it took? Just 3 seconds of you holding the rock, and now you control the dwarves?
Nick, you would be surprised what a man can do in 3 seconds.
What? How are you going to call me out on what I would be surprised on in 3 seconds?
I just want to throw it out there. You'd be surprised. I always took it as he's not necessarily there. Like he created his 1 ring and then he just slowly corrupted all the other rings. I feel like it's the reverse where he's corrupting all of these rings and he's like testing them out to see how they do with the ring bearers, and then he's like, how about we just make this little pile for me and put this all in 1?
Yeah.
And now he has all of the rings in 1, plus he can control them at the same time. That's what I always took it as.
I don't know.
For the season.
That's the vibe.
I wanted a better... I don't know. All the rings and everything just feels so, like you said earlier, everything's rushed.
I'll agree with that.
And I just, the creation of the rings all feel like, okay, we made them some dwarves. Now it's time for man. And it's only going to take an episode. Don't worry about it. Like, we're just going to build it. No big deal. I'm going to look at our rock for 3 seconds. It's good. Don't worry about it. It's all very rushed and calculated, and we just need to go because we only have 8 episodes to do this before. And in this season, we've decided we have to make the rest of the rings. Like, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, he did only hold it for a few seconds, but also
Shut up.
He corrupted Celebrimbor and got him to make the rings in secrecy under, basically a veil of lying to the king.
Which took 1 episode. I want that was conflict and resolution in 1 episode. I need this to span out. Instead of him making the 7 dwarven rings in 1 go and that was it, why not make all the rings at the same time and distribute them? going, we have an entire season to make rings. And then at the very end, we have a big council meeting with all the dwarves and all the men and all the everybody. And hey, we made these to make Middle Earth better. Everybody take them. And
So
then and then at that point, everybody takes them. They think life is grand, life is great, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Khazak Doom falls to the Balrog, and Numenor gets destroyed by a flood, and the world goes to shit because of Sauron's influence. But instead, we're doing section by section by section when it should have been the world all goes to shit at one time, slowly.
So what you're saying is the entire season build the rings, and then the final episode it'd be like an award ceremony and be like, hey, you get a ring, bruh. You get a ring. Huh. You don't get a fucking ring. Get the fuck out of here.
Let's like the whole season is gearing up to building the other rings. And then season 3, I mean, we all wanted to see Numenor and Khazak Doom fall this season. I say postpone it. We build all the rest of the rings this season and distribute them now, and then we see the slow demise of Middle Earth and Numenor in season 3.
I'm okay with that because I feel like if we go by that, where everybody gets their rings in this season, and then shit just hits the fan in season 3 is gonna be fucking lit.
That's what I'm saying, and that would keep it compelling instead of this. Okay, we start, we're finished. We start, we finish. We start, we finish. Draw it out. Make the story last and keep it compelling instead of every episode has its resolution.
We got a lot of stuff to unpack.
And the end of episode, or the end of season 2, you have we'll call it the Council of Elrond. Essentially, is where we're having this big meeting with a bunch of people, and Celebrimbor and Anatar are like, we made these rings. Look, they help granted, like the elves technically made their rings after everybody else using the same process, but in this storyline, they made them first. Whatever, it helped them. Okay, let's use that. The elves made their rings, and it saved them. It sustained the light to keep the elf culture thriving in Middle Earth. We want to pass that on to everybody else. So we made these rings for dwarves and these rings for men. Everybody get together, kumbaya. We did this for you to make life beautiful. Here are the rings. Here, we pass them out to your selected leaders. Don't even let Anatar and Celebrimbor decide who it is. Let the people there at the council decide who gets the rings for the betterment of their race. And that's the finale of season 2. And then season 3 is the slow demise because Sauron's influence.
He brings up a lot of good points there, sir. Kristen's just like, that was so much to unpack. That was a lot, sir. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Amazon, if you need me, I'm here for a job.
No, fuck that, because he's gonna give us a whole episode of the Harfoots.
No, I will not. I promise you, I will kill them off. Season 3, episode 1, no more Harfoots.
But yeah, guys, let us know down in the comments below your theories on anything that we have discussed. What do you think about Celebrimbor and Anatar trying to lay down some fucking pipe? Thought that was interesting. Trying to give him a little bit of a love interest, maybe.
Hey,
doubt it.
Even an angel needs a little every once in a while.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Hey, I'm not faulting him. I can't blame him, to be honest with you.
He doesn't have a type. It's always a blonde elf.
He liked him so much, he became one.
Right.
But guys, that is going to be it from us. We will catch y'all next time on the next episode. Laters.